it's my pleasure today to welcome the opportunity candidate for Ōtāhuhu, Adam MacRae-Martin.
Thank you. Cool. Thanks everyone. Warm greetings to you all for being here today. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to make this. So my name's Adam MacRae-Martin. I'm obviously the opportunity candidate for Otahuhu. I'm running because I want to challenge the status quo and create a fairer system for all New Zealanders. Look, I acknowledge that I don't look like our community, the diversity of it, but I believe that I'm still connected to it through my family and also through my philosophy, which is ole ala I le pule, ole tautua, which means the pathway to leadership is through service. In my career, I've been in both the public service as a case manager, but also worked for a publicly listed New Zealand retailer. So because of that, I've kind of seen both sides of the economic coin. And it's kind of shaped my worldview that we both need business to generate sustainable profits, but we also need the state to provide for the communities that they serve. As a leader, I've always prioritized building strong relationships with those in the front lines because they are the voice of the people and they will tell you the story that the data won't. So I see my role as a leader to help steer the ship and help those around me succeed. That is the leadership philosophy that I'll bring to my campaign and what I believe our country sorely needs. Leaders that are willing to challenge the status quo, not for themselves, but for the benefit of others, who can think outside the box to identify smart solutions to the big problems. It's not necessarily about smaller government, but removing complexity and being simpler with how we do things. In my career, I've freed up thousands of hours when it comes to labour by challenging the status quo and asking the question, why? This is where technology can be beneficial in our modern world, but we need to make sure we set the right rules in place. That then enables people to be freed up to create more value with their time. In my recent career, I'm proud to have built a long-term strategy and delivered strong growth in what is a challenging economy. That success has come from value, innovation, and global best practice. This is the same approach that I believe our country needs. It is about recognizing how to achieve the strongest benefit for New Zealand. So that means the cheapest solution is not always the best solution. We need to think about the long-term benefit to New Zealand when the government invests. While all that explains how my philosophy works, ultimately the reason I'm standing is for my daughter. Only 1 in 5 Kiwis believe the future generation will have a better life. And I find that really disheartening. My daughter is at preschool, but by the time the election comes around, she'll be going to primary school. And so because of that, I'm starting to think about her future in 10 years. And like the 80% of New Zealanders, I'm concerned about what that future looks like. I cannot sit in the stands just waving while her future continues to decline with the way New Zealand's going. I tell my daughter to be brave when she faces challenges, and I feel that I need to hold myself to that same standard. I want her to know that as her father, I delivered a future that she can be proud to inherit. New Zealand's decline culminated in 2024 with us no longer ranking in the top 10 on the World Happiness Report. But it's the next generation that our country is failing. Youths aged 15 to 24 ranked 126th out of 136 countries on that same report. Is that the future that we want for our children? I won't accept it for my family, and nor should you. Our major parties are still offering 20th century solutions to 21st century problems. Their lack of innovation is making our systems continue to fall further behind. My brother, my wife's siblings, and thousands of other Kiwis have already left for Australia, many never to return. How can we create a future that keeps the next generation here in New Zealand? We must have the courage to change, and we must start innovating our systems now. I want all of us and our children to be able to succeed here in New Zealand because we truly live in an amazing place. How can we prevent the problems New Zealand faces today becoming the problems that get passed on to the future generation? Introducing the Opportunity Party. We have fresh faces and fresh perspectives that take the best ideas from across the political spectrum. From that, we create evidence-based policy that will deliver smart solutions to the big problems. We recognise that a successful New Zealand needs a strong economy, a healthy environment, and a thriving community. They are not mutually exclusive. 97% of New Zealand businesses are small businesses, and I love that across our electorate of Otahuhu, Otara, and Papatoetoe, we have local business networks that help foster entrepreneurship and cultural diversity. But we need to support these businesses and the next economy develop the capabilities they need to grow through our Productivity Unleashed policy and incentivize investment in business to create more jobs. These small businesses are what put food on the table in the majority of households. Yet 33% of households are deemed food insecure, which to me is a proof of failure in our system. In New Zealand, every family should be able to put a healthy dinner on the table because hard work should always be enough to feed your family. We will strengthen the Commerce Act and boost funding to the Commerce Commission to ensure that industries like our supermarkets are best serving our communities. Another similar act that needs to be addressed is the Fisheries Act. There's obviously been strong opposition to this with the recently proposed changes because they weren't going to best serve the average New Zealander. For many households, seafood is a key part of the diet, whether it be samoan oka, seafood boil, or whatever your favourite seafood dish is. If we want to continue enjoying these pleasures at an affordable price, we need our Fisheries Act to support the return of abundant fish stocks, not pillage and plunder it to the brink of extinction. Our Healthy Oceans policy will do this by transforming fisheries management and expanding marine protection areas to 30% by 2035. The public outcry against these changes showcases just how powerful a united voice can be. When we work together, we can create solutions to the most complex problems if we focus on what unites us in the outcome and not what divides us. The recent re-election of the Papatoetoe ward of the local board created a painful division within our community, which devolved into a toxic spiral of racism. Now, I was a rugby referee for 10 years, so I've certainly absorbed my fair share of insults. But it wasn't acceptable then, and it isn't acceptable now. I do not want to live in a society where my daughter is insulted for her Pacifica heritage, and you should feel the same about your family, your friends, and our Indian community who are the current target. While we need to be willing to consider all perspectives and encourage robust debate, we must ensure that everyone participates respectfully and focuses on the problem, not the people. We want fairness in our systems that deliver for all. Our citizens' voice and clean up politics policies are designed to make our democracy live up to the definition of power to the people by implementing citizens' assemblies and limiting political donations. Competing special interests existing in our current system mean our major parties spend more time blaming each other than focusing on our future. I've had enough of the policy flip-flops that waste billions of dollars while communities like those in this electorate continue to struggle and feel forgotten about. New Zealand does not have a funding issue. It has a value for money issue. We want to establish a long-term plan focused on delivering value for taxpayer money, bringing our political parties together for New Zealand's future. Our abundant energy policy will accelerate the transition to electrification by creating 30 gigawatts of extra renewable generation by 2050. And through the Ratepayer Assistance Scheme, we'll make it more accessible for those in our communities to invest in efficient energy solutions like heat pumps and electric water heaters. By increasing supply and reducing demand, we can create abundant, affordable energy, securing our energy independence from the world. Better use of taxpayer money now means we all pay less in the future. To increase money in our future economy, we'll modernise our tax system, shifting the burden from productive people to passive property through our tax reset policy. Too many working families are facing a cost of living crisis, struggling to cover higher food, energy, and petrol prices, while for others trying to get their life back on track, the benefit system traps them in poverty. We will target ending this and helping people fulfill their potential by providing everyone with a citizen's income equivalent to the job seeker benefit paid for by a land value tax. This provides a stronger safety net for families to flourish. It will simplify our benefits, reward people for all work, and enable our case managers to spend more time on helping people and less time on admin. This policy detail is due to be released in the next week, and I encourage you to use our tax calculator to understand what this change means for you. But we must also take a longer-term view to fix the future risk of superannuation crippling our economy, as it's forecast to grow to 22% of government spending in the next decade. Around the same time, my daughter becomes the next generation to carry that load. We need to advance KiwiSaver 2.0 to generate higher balances upon retirement, free up future spending for our infrastructure needs, and remove the strain from our next generation. Opportunity is for our future, focused on long-term planning, evidence-based solutions, and working together in challenging the status quo to move the country forward. We will be brave in tackling the systemic issues, and we will face it with honesty and transparency. We cannot afford to kick the can down the road anymore. So what kind of country should the next generation inherit? I stand here today as a father, wanting to create a New Zealand for my daughter where our youth are top 10 in world happiness again, led by a strong economy, punching above its weight on the global scale. Having restored our 100% pure New Zealand image through our healthy environment, and having healed the scars of the past, uniting New Zealanders for a fairer society because they feel like a stakeholder in their own future again. Our polling is showing that our message is resonating with Kiwis, but the job isn't done. There are many New Zealanders that are not yet aware of what the Opportunity Party offers. We need your support to keep that momentum growing by volunteering and spreading our message to reach that magic 5% threshold. Your vote for opportunity will be the most powerful vote for change this election. Your one vote to surpass 5% would see at least 6 MPs elected, the best value vote you'll find. Join me on this movement and party vote opportunity. It is not about you, it is not about me. It is about us, for our communities, for our next generation, and for our future. Thank you.